Hey everybody, welcome back to Breakfast with Bob, Challenge Roth edition. My name is Bob Babbitt, brought to you by HOKA, Fly Human Fly, SFuels, right fuel, right time, Master Spas, deboer wetsuits, Premium Plus Sports, and of course our Challenged Athletes Foundation. Our next guest, racing for the first time here, Tom Bishop. How you doing, Tom?
I'm doing all right, thanks. I arrived earlier this week. I wanted to get to know the area, and I really like it.
It's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, it's
You
amazing.
rode the course a little bit?
I've done the course twice. The road surface is amazing.
It really is.
Compared to the UK, it's so much better. Yeah.
Or the US, man. The roads are just so beat up.
Yeah.
So what got you into this sport?
I guess I'd go back to when I was like a little 6-7-year-old. My parents used to do some triathlon racing, so of course alongside all the normal triathlons you have the kids races. So I used to do some of those, which was great. And then I just loved it, continued to race, and ended up here really.
That's very cool. And so when you started out in this, obviously you were doing WTS stuff back in the day.
Yeah.
And you raced a lot. You did a lot. I'm looking at 16 and 17. When did you realize, okay, it's time to go longer?
So yeah, I'd say 2017 was my best year as a short course athlete, and then I kind of started to fade off a little bit, and then it was 2021. Like post-COVID, I was like, right, I need to give this a go. I'm not getting any younger. And
so the goal was always Olympics.
The goal was Olympics, never quite made it. I was reserved a few times.
Of course, it's Brownlee era.
Yeah,
like two spots are gone.
It was tough. It was tough.
But wait a second, there was one race. You beat Vincent Louis and Mario Mola?
Yeah, in Abu Dhabi.
That was Abu Dhabi.
That was probably one of the best races of my life.
You were second. So what, Javier?
Yeah. Javier was first. Yeah.
That's one of those where you just go, okay, that goes in the time capsule.
Yeah, it was. I made a social media post when I finished doing short course, and that was the picture was me on the podium with Vincent and Javier. I was like, this is a proud achievement of mine. So
it should be very proud achievement.
Yeah.
How'd that race play out?
We had a breakaway out the front. I got off the bike and my back was absolutely done. I was like, I'm just going to kind of jog through to get some points. And then I just suddenly found my legs. And then I went off the front with Javier and we had a battle until maybe 2K to go. And he used his wisdom just to kind of drop me. So, but I was happy with that.
What a great experience.
No, it was really
And
good.
Javier's probably looking over going, I don't think I've come down the line with this guy before.
No. I'm sure... Well, he knows what he's doing. He can beat anyone on his day. So the second for me was like a win. So I was happy.
What people don't understand with that racing, you come off the bike in 40th and you're 40 seconds back.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Everybody is there.
Yeah.
I remember talking to Chris McCormick years ago when he had made the decision to go back and try to make the 2012 Olympic team.
Yeah, I remember
and
that.
He raced in San Diego and he ran I think a 30-30 10K and was 33rd.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like the levels I'd say has got even better now.
Yes.
Like you're watching
no
the
question.
guys racing for this Olympic Games, it's going to be crazy. So
I think because of all the laps and everything, you think you're going to someone like a Christian Blumenfeld, someone might take a flyer and go, okay, I'm not just going circles here.
Yeah.
I don't want to get off the bike with Alex Yee or those other guys. I got to get out of here.
It's going to be interesting. Like he obviously he's been racing this year and he's not quite been at the level that he was in 2021. But you know what the Norwegians are like; they'll find a way to still challenge in the end.
Exactly. So when making that transition, how hard was that transition? To the longer distance.
It was really easy in one respect because I just loved this sort of racing. Like
because that's what your parents did.
Yeah. So I just I did one race, Challenge Wales. That was my first middle distance, and I came fourth, I think, in that day. And then I just got the bug, and then slowly kind of transitioned over to middle distance, and I haven't looked back since. That's
been the coolest thing. Well, and then like in 2023, second at Clash Miami, and that's always a good field. And then you win at Challenge Wales and Challenge Walshy. You're on the podium, 3-4 times and winning a couple. So you're like, this transition's pretty good.
No, it was good. And it was nice to be on the podiums again because the end of my short course career, I wasn't really doing too much at the pointy end of the race.
Right.
So it was great to get that feeling where I'm leading a race. So it felt good.
And then 2022 was... Yeah, 20. We went through those, and then this 2023. Obviously, you're dealing with an injury. But when I look at when you win Wales and you run like a 116 off the bike, and those are not easy.
It was really hilly.
Yeah,
it was really hilly.
When you run a 116 and you're going 356, I'm like, that's a brutal. I know how brutal the full is. The half has to be the same thing.
Yeah. No, it was a really tough race, but it Challenge Wales is in a place where I used to go on holiday as a kid, so it was really nice to kind of race around those roads.
Perfect. Yeah. And at the end of the season, you're dealing with a knee injury.
Yeah, I'd entered Challenge Almere. It's my first full distance, but in the build-up, I kind of injured my knee a little bit.
Yeah.
So I still wanted to race just to get the feeling of the swim and the bike, but I knew I was never going to run. But unfortunately, the knee was a bit more serious than I thought, so it ended my season in September.
Right.
So I spent up until December kind of rehabbing it and getting back into training. And then, into the 2024 season. Well,
in 2024, second at Geelong and third at the Philippines. And then now when I see Challenge Championship, was that the knee again?
No, I got sick the night before the race.
Good.
So
I'm glad. But sick is better than your knee bothering again.
Yeah. No, it was actually going really well until it wasn't. I was obviously Freddie had broken away. He really put the power down on the bike, and I was in kind of the chase pack, you could call it.
Right.
Was running well. Was running through the field. I think I'd managed to get into fourth.
Yep.
And then my sickness, I basically was on the toilet for most of the night before. So I just ran out of energy. I literally went from running 320Ks to 420Ks to walking, and then I was like,
I'm out of here.
Yeah.
So when you did Almere, and you knew you couldn't run, but you wanted to get a sense for the swim and a bike for this year, I'm guessing.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I'm
scouting.
I was 32 at the time. I was like, I'm not getting any younger. I want to see what it's like. I feel like I want to do some full distance racing is like my real part of the long course career. So I was like, just get a bit of a learning experience. And the Challenge family are great. They were really supportive. Good people. I went and joined Belinda in the commentary booth just after I'd pulled out, just to kind of explain what was going on and talk a bit about the race. So yeah, and then obviously my friend Kieran, he came second, and I don't know if you'd seen on YouTube or anything.
No,
his finish line when he was like kind of stumbling and stuff. This guy can really put himself in a
he can hurt himself.
Place. Yeah, but that was kind of inspiring to watch as well, just to see him come second. That was great.
So meanwhile, you're sitting in the booth going, who feels like a piece of crap right now?
Yeah.
But you knew the knee was not something you wanted to mess around with.
No, definitely not.
Smart move. And now do you feel you've got that under control?
The knee seems fine, like fingers crossed. So I'm just kind of preparing as normal, just full training. So hopefully I've done enough for this race.
Yes.
We'll see. You don't know until you're halfway around the run, I suppose, or even last 10 kilometers. I hear is supposed to always be a struggle, but we'll see. But the support in the town, the final loops are kind of
oh my god,
and it's supposed to be quite hilly, so that's going to be a tough one.
Well, and the great thing about this race is every aspect of it, from the swim with the hot air balloons and the classical music and the bike ride with Solar Hill. Have you ever raced with crowds like this?
Not where they're on the road like in the Tour de France. I've obviously raced some of the short course races. I had some great crowds.
Yeah.
I raced Leeds quite a few times.
Leeds is one of those.
That was amazing. But this will be different. This will be totally different.
Are your parents still racing?
No, they're just here to
retired?
Support. Yeah.
Now they come and watch you.
Yeah, basically. They don't want me to stop racing. They just want to come out and support every race I can do. So they love it.
What's the ultimate for you in terms of what races? When you look back, you've got that photo from Dubai when you had that great race with Javier.
Yeah.
When you look back, okay, I want a picture of me on the podium in Roth, and I want Kona, and
that would be the dream. I know the standards is so hard now. So just to even qualify for Kona is probably a stepping stone along the way.
Right.
I've qualified for World 70.3 champs in Puerto this year.
Yes.
I'm excited about that. New Zealand's one of my favourite countries ever, so I'm looking forward to heading back there. And it's going to be a great race with all the short guys moving up after the Olympic Games.
Oh, I know. It's going to be nutty. Well, it's one of those years where you're talking about racing in February, right? And then you're going through to December.
I know.
So you really have to pace yourself so you don't blow out your season.
Yeah, so I travelled to Australia in February to do Geelong. So I stayed in Australia for 2 months in Noosa, which was amazing.
Beautiful.
Had a really nice family put me up there. That was lovely. Obviously, tick the qualification box for Worlds, so that was the big aim of the early start of the season. And then, came back to Europe.
Now,
here I am.
How many full distance have you done?
This will be second, because Almere was my first one. But I'd say this is the first one that I'm fully ready for.
I was going to say, yeah, because you knew in Almere you're not ready for that. So this is really your first full.
Yeah, I'd say so.
How does the difference in terms of fueling for 70.3 and fueling for this is totally different gig?
It's just more and more. Like, you've just got to kind of really be honest with yourself and make sure you're fueling, topping up the energy stores, because this course is going to be fast, it's going to be hard. You're going to burn through energy so quickly.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And so the goal, are you thinking you're going to try to qualify for Kona this year, or is that the following year?
I've entered Frankfurt, which is the last qualification race.
Yes.
I was going to see how I went after this one,
yeah,
and then decide if I'm going to commit to it or not. But that's the goal, yeah.
Well, it's great now that this and Frankfurt are further apart. They used to be either same weekend, same day, a week apart. Now it's what, a few weeks or a month?
5 weeks.
5 weeks.
Yeah, so
That's perfect.
Hopefully got time to recover. I imagine I'm going to get some good adaptations from this race, just putting your body through. As long as I recover well, hopefully I'll be able to deliver in Frankfurt.
What have you taken from your, when you're doing the racing you're doing at that level and you're getting 38th, 29th, I mean, to keep your head up and go, okay, I'm a professional, I'm trying to make a living at this, and 38th, 30th. What did you take from that that's helped you now in this longer distance?
You've just got to kind of keep believing in yourself, believe the training that you're doing is working. Like, not everyone can have a good day in race day. The best seem to be able to be more consistent at the top, but as long as I've got the belief that I can still deliver a good result, then it keeps me going, it keeps me motivated. And I have a good support. Like, my fiance, she races professionally.
Oh, wow.
My family, my brother, he used to, now he works, but he races marathons. I've got so many people around me who believe in me, and that kind of keeps me going as well.
I remember I was interviewing Gustav Eden in Kona, and I was reading his results from 2017. WTS. It was like 30th, 28th. You're like, dude, if somebody had told you that you're 2 years later you're going to win 70.3 Worlds and you're going to win Kona, and he goes, no, I knew I was on the verge. I knew. So I'm guessing you're sort of the same way. You're okay. I'm 28th, but I'm this close. If I had gotten out of the water at this, I could have been 8th.
It's such fine margins, and I think even in this sort of racing now, I know we race for a lot longer, but there's still fine margins. You've got to make the right tactical decision, because if you make the wrong decision at the wrong point of the race, it is over. Like, you think, you've got 8 hours to kind of, or however long to make up for it, but sometimes the race goes and you can't do anything about it if you made the wrong decision. So strategy wise in a race like this, I mean, the strategy when you're doing Olympic format and there's draft legal and you got to be at the right feet and the rest of it, this is you're racing on your own at the end of the day, but there's still tactics. Well, we've obviously got massive players like Magnus Ditlev in this race. He's going to be the guy who'll probably try and repeat what he did last year. Just go off the front. So it's being aware of what he does. Is it worth trying to go with it or not? I don't know. I'll see. You have to make the decision on the day at the right time. So there's a lot of great guys here. So hopefully I won't be completely alone. Well, it's also interesting. 2 years ago, he comes off of the bike with Jan Frodeno, and you're thinking, we're going to have this great race. Jan's out. Last year, Sam Laidlaw, Sam's gone. So you don't know if somebody's doing what you were doing at Almere, going, I just want to see the swim in a bike. Exactly. So you just got to, I think you've got to be honest with yourself at the point of the race where you have to make that decision, and just go with it, back yourself. What do you look at besides the race with Javier? Best race you've ever had? Not necessarily the best race, but one that maybe mean the most to you. I raced Daytona in 2022 and came 4th. And this was at a point where I was deciding whether professional triathlon was really for me anymore. And that gave me a lot of inspiration that that was a great field. Vincent Louis won, but I managed to get I think a minute lead off the bike. And I held on. I was leading for most of the run as well. I just he just got me in the end, and then the fast runners all just kind of got me right in the last kilometre or so. But that was probably a race for me, especially in middle distance, where I was like, this means a lot. And then I went on to clash Miami.
Yes, and got second.
Yeah, and that was the same situation. So I was like, yeah, I can definitely do this sort of racing. So.
And you like those racetrack races?
Yeah,
we need to keep more of those with more money, with the same money.
Yeah, definitely. Those races are great, and yeah, just being on a racetrack, the surface is so good. You can go so fast. It's amazing.
You like that, where you can just put your head down and go?
Yeah,
because you could never do that when you were doing ITU.
No,
it's like it's a criterium.
It was so hard to just get away, and there's obviously 40 guys in the pack who can all chase you down. Whereas obviously with the non-drafting element, you can use your strengths a little bit more. So that was I probably learned from the short course racing, which helped me in Daytona and Miami. So yeah.
So Magnus is the hammer on the bike. Obviously the bike is your weapon as well. I mean, that's not a bad thing to have.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I feel like my riding's not quite where it was last year, but I'm not sure. Like, I've done some decent training since coming back from Challenge Champs, so hopefully I've managed to kind of just step it on a little bit. But
Love it. Hey, thanks so much for taking time, man. I really appreciate it.
It's great chatting.
Hopefully we'll catch you at the finish line.
Yeah, cheers. Thanks very much.
Tom Bishop has been our guest, everybody. Again, Breakfast with Bob, Challenge Roth edition. Hold on. We'll be right back.